With thousands of people throughout the United Kingdom paying their respects to the Queen, security around the viewings and vigils almost seems like an impossible task. We saw countless people lined up along the route to Buckingham Palace today just for a glimpse of the Queen's final journey home. And at Buckingham Palace, mourners marked her arrival by the thousands. So how do you organize it all? We just spoke a little bit about that, but I did speak with a former police protection officer to the British royal family, Simon Morgan, and he gave us a lot more insight. The 1960s, that's when this London Bridge operation actually begun.
That's
planning
correct.
For this moment in time.
Very much so. 1960s, constantly under review, constantly discussed, constantly being table-topped, and indeed some facets of this operation have already been undertaken, such as the wedding of the now Prince and Princess of Wales, the former Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, at Westminster Abbey. The Queen Mother lay in state after her death. So all these facets are now being put together in one big operation.
Take us behind the scenes. Clearly, you were not involved in the 1960s. No. But for many years, 3 times a year, you would review this plan. Tell us what you can tell us behind the scenes of how those reviews go.
You'd see where it is at that particular moment in time. You know, you'd look at the threat and risk naturally. What are we facing as a country? What is that threat and risk at that particular moment? What is the state in the UK? You know, all the way down to whether that particular road is being dug up at that particular time. And you constantly look at all these little things. You know, people very much hone in on the larger things, but it's actually the little things that support the operation. So you would sit there with your colleagues. You'd have meetings. Officers from up and down the country would come, and you would say, okay, well, if this happened now, what would we do? And what would you do? And if it happened here, what would you do? Various exercises within the department itself, whereby people come and say, right, Bridges has just happened. How many officers are available protection-wise to me now? And all those things kind of went through, but it was constantly under review to make sure it was fit for purpose. And
would you prepare on a regular basis for the absolute worst thing to happen? And I don't mean to take it on a downspin, but you're talking about the President of the United States will be here, world leaders will be here, thousands and thousands of people will be here, and you have to know how to respond if indeed there were some type of terrorist attack or something else.
Absolutely. I mean, with regards to visiting dignitaries here in London, we're very used to it. We have 2 state visits a year where various heads of government come to the UK. We have visiting members of the royal family, of foreign royal families that come to London. So we're very much used to that, used to dealing with it. But certainly every protection operation is always up to the highest level, rather than saying, well, hey, it worked well last time, so we'll do the same thing again. You have to learn from history, but the plan also has to evolve.
What types of assets, whatever you can tell us? Are we talking about snipers? Are we talking about anything in the air? Is everything on foot? Give us an idea.
I mean, there's lots of police assets that are visible. Yes, lots of people get drawn to riflemen on the roof. Lots of people get drawn to firearms teams, traffic officers. But there's lots of back office staff that are involved in that. There's a massive control room belonging to the Metropolitan Police just for large events like this. You will have detectives who will be investigating other crimes that happen within the footprint of the funeral. So there's lots of different officers that are actually feeding into this. And at the moment, various officers from around the UK are being drawn into London to support the policing plan.
One final question. That moment when the Queen was being brought into the palace, Buckingham Palace, for the very last time, I actually, for the first time, got emotional when I saw all the police officers on the motorcycles calmly sit there and bow their head as she went by them into Buckingham Palace. That's when it really got real for me. Did that touch you as a police officer?
Very much so, because those motorcycle officers were members of Royalty Protection, a special escort group. So from a professional perspective, that's what kind of really touched me. The professionalism that they'd shown, and then the respect at the end. You know, I thought, yes, that was pretty special.
Simon Morgan, thank you so much for your perspective and your time.
Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.